Okay, let me tell you about one of the most maddening paradoxes in business. You've built something brilliant. Demand is through the roof and your team is growing. Everything should be getting easier, right? Ha, wrong. Dead wrong. Instead, you find yourself in this bizarre organizational twilight zone where adding more people somehow makes everything slower. 6 months ago, your team of 15 could ship features in days, and now that you've doubled your headcount, delivery velocity has actually decreased. This is the scaling paradox, and if you don't solve it, growth will kill the very thing that made you successful in the first place. And here's what typically happens when organizations hit this wall. They panic and choose one of two equally disastrous paths. Path one is the Wild West approach. They refuse to add any structure at all because process is the enemy of innovation. Right. So they maintain their startup informality even as coordination complexity explodes. And the result is that talented people spend more time trying to figure out how to get things done than actually getting them done. Well, path two is the corporate panic button. They implement enterprise-grade processes immediately. Layers of management, complex approval workflows, formal planning cycles. They successfully eliminate chaos, but they also eliminate speed, creativity, and the ability to respond to change. Both paths lead to the same place, organizational quicksand. The trick is finding the middle path, adding structure that creates leverage, not overhead. So while you're stuck in this scaling confusion, your competitors are moving. Some will choose the Wild West and drown in chaos. Others will choose corporate bureaucracy and fossilize into irrelevance. But the ones who figure out how to scale without sinking, well, those are the ones that are going to eat everybody's lunch. They're going to maintain startup speed while gaining enterprise coordination. And that combination is absolutely devastating in the marketplace. Growth amplifies everything, including weak structures. The cost of confusion rises exponentially with headcount. And if you overcorrect, you'll create layers instead of leverage. So what's the fix? Well, you need to treat organizational design just the way you treat product development. You don't build features for users you don't have yet, and you shouldn't build organizational structures for problems you haven't encountered. The goal is to add structure that grows with your organization without creating unnecessary overhead or bureaucracy. You want to be one step ahead, not 10 steps ahead. So let me walk you through exactly how to do this without falling into either trap. So we'll pull up our list here. Step one, identify where growth is already stressing your current org design. Look for the early warning signs, this work that falls through the cracks because nobody owns it, decisions that stall because the approval process is unclear, or leaders who are becoming bottlenecks because everything flows through them. These aren't just annoyances, they're informative data. They tell you exactly where structure is needed and where it isn't. Pay attention to patterns. If the same type of coordination issue keeps surfacing, that's not a people problem, that's a structural opportunity. And so the goal is to solve actual problems, not theoretical ones. Step two, design for the next 1 to 2 stages of growth, not for your dream state. Think about where your organization will be in the next 6 to 12 months. What new roles are you going to need? What types of teams are going to emerge? What sorts of decisions will become more frequent or more complex? If you're planning to launch into new markets, you might need regional coordination roles. If you're adding new product lines, you might need dedicated product managers. If you're growing engineering significantly, you might need technical leads. This forward-looking perspective allows you to be proactive without being premature. You're building for the likely near future, not every possible future. Step three, introduce lightweight planning, review, and decision routines. Process gets a bad reputation, but the right processes at the right time can be liberation rather than limitation. Consider quarterly planning cycles that give teams direction without micromanaging execution. Or team-level OKRs that create alignment without destroying autonomy. Or even simple decision frameworks that speed up choices. The test of good process is simple. Does it make the work easier or harder? If your new processes require more effort to maintain than they save in coordination costs, you've over-engineered. Choose scalable tools that grow with you, not against you. Step four, empower leads or group managers to absorb communication and decision load. As you grow, your current leaders will hit natural limits. The person who could effectively coordinate 5 people cannot coordinate 15 using the same methods. Instead of waiting for burnout, proactively distribute leadership load. Promote team leads, create group managers, establish domain experts who can make decisions within their areas. The goal is to create layers that absorb load, not layers that add approval steps. Teach these emerging leaders how to delegate effectively and hold teams accountable for outcomes, not just activities. This creates multiplicative leadership, not additive management. And then step 5, treat structure like product. Prototype it, test it, and refine it. Most organizations design their structure once and assume that it'll work forever. Well, that's not realistic. Org design requires continuous iteration based on real-world feedback. Prototype new approaches with pilot teams. Test changes with a subset before rolling out broadly. And most importantly, actively collect feedback from people who have to live with your structural decisions. Ask them regularly what's helping you move faster and what's slowing you down. This feedback loop allows you to refine continuously rather than making large, disruptive changes every so often. Look, the orgs that win aren't just the ones that build great products. They're the ones that can do it consistently, at scale, without losing what made them great. Your competitors will face the same scaling challenges as you. The ones who thread the needle, adding just enough structure to support growth without strangling agility, they will have a sustainable competitive advantage. That's how you scale without sinking, and that's how you turn growth from a threat into a weapon.